If I had 10,000 tongues, I couldn't tell all that the Lord has done for me. So I'll keep on singing praise. Waiting for the sunshine. Waiting for the sunshine. Ooh, waiting for the sunshine. Waiting for the sunshine. Ooh, waiting for the sunshine. Waiting for the sunshine.
Welcome to the Room 412 podcast, where we talk about real life issues but through a Christian perspective. My name is AJ Hawkins, and I'm your host, and I'm here with my co-hosts, John, Kiara, Chris, Marissa, and Samantha. So, today, right, I woke up this morning and I turned over, looked at Facebook like I usually do. I know I shouldn't really be doing that, but I turned over and looked at Facebook, and one of my friends, he wrote a status pretty much saying church dropouts. Like, why y'all stop going to church. And I thought that would be a pretty good topic for us to talk about today. Do you guys think of reasons of like why people stop going to church?
Yeah. We hear, I saw the post and there's a lot of different reasons. One of the reasons is they feel like church is judgmental, or the people in church are judgmental, I should say. That's one of the reasons I see all the time when I see stuff like that.
I think another reason is that there's nothing there to like keep you in the church. Like they're not doing anything
Oh, so
for
talking about,
us. Like there's nothing like for the youth or
you're
stuff
talking
like
about
that.
pretty much like the church. Like the church has nothing to keep the people there. Or
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Or like the people aren't like moving forward to actually do things in the
No,
church.
it's not. No, not the people. Like there are some churches that don't have anything to keep the
Okay,
people
gotcha,
in the
gotcha,
church.
gotcha,
Like
gotcha.
like music is like some people's connection
Yeah.
that keep them coming. Some churches don't have that.
So why do you think that is? Do you think it's because of the churches having a hard time moving with times?
I think so.
100%.
I think a lot of stuff is wrapped up in tradition.
Yeah.
And they are in a time capsule and they do not know how to move forward.
So yeah, I pretty much agree with.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw well, when we were, discussing the post, somebody has said that church people are hypocrites. And I feel like I hear that a lot. And I know we touched on that in one of our episodes when we talked about setting an example. And I know you mentioned like on social media specifically. I don't know, like, why do we get such a bad name when it comes to, like, church? Like, what y'all think?
I think. I think it's you hit it right there on the head. Like when you said
Yeah.
setting an example. So like, for instance, I mean, we gotta say no names and stuff like that, but I know right now we have like a lot of people that like are in high places in the church, quote unquote. Like you got preachers and stuff like that going like airing things out. Right now, the whole wave right now is cussing preachers.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah, like it's a lot of stuff going on, and then like I said, I know we touched upon it before, but like that like church hurt or whatever like that. So somebody does something to you, but instead of going to the person and hashing the beef out or whatever like that, since we live in the social media age, everybody's pretty much going on social media and just airing it out up there, and now you have a social media fight
Yeah.
or stuff like that. So like the post that I was saying about the church, pretty much I guess we could say like church fatigue. You got a bunch of church people over there talking about how church doing this, church doing that, church doing that, church doing that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think that's
I think that another thing that people tend to forget is the church is, Pastor says all the time, the church is a hospital, right? So I think that people in the world or people outside of church, because of the moral ground that our religion is based off of, they expect us to have that same moral compass. When we're on a journey to that moral compass. So that's like saying, I'm not going to the hospital because there's sick people there. That's kind of dumb. Like,
Yeah.
everybody's at the hospital to get healing or
Right.
get better. You know what I'm saying? So I think a big issue is that the people outside the church have to understand that we're all the same. And we come here to learn how to be better Christians, better people. But on the flip side, to address F's point, is we do have to understand, especially those in higher seats, that there is a magnifying glass on you for the things that you do.
Yeah.
And in the Bible talks about that too, where, you know, if you're in those seats, you're responsible for the people that you make fall.
Right.
So I think it's a twofold thing, but I definitely think that people that are outside, because just as they call us judgmental, they're just as judgmental when they make posts like that.
Yeah.
Like John said that, you know, the church represents a hospital. And a lot of people inside of the hospital church, they are presenting themselves as if they're healed. And you have a lot of sick people trying to heal sick people. And create this this church hurt, and why people are not really like trying to stay in and they leaving. And it's hard because a lot of these sick / healed people are in higher positions.
Or
And they take advantage
And they
of
have
that
influence.
stuff.
And
That's what I'm
that
saying.
Influence.
You
Right,
might,
and-
you might about to. You might have about to say what I'm about to say.
then if they are healed, right, if they do, you know, get delivered from whatever the issue is, when that next person comes up with that same issue, they kick them out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think that's the issue too. Is like, once you receive that healing or that deliverance or whatever your issue is, if you're a liar and you don't lie anymore, then the next liar comes, you can't kick them out because they're lying.
Right, because you just stopped lying like last week.
Right.
That's not fair.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
Yeah.
So
I think like the main thing though, what it really is for me is, it's where your mind is when you're coming into being a Christian, like in the
Right.
church. It's like
Right.
your focus needs to be on God.
Right.
Like, you feel me? So I think what happens is a lot of people focus on their titles and all that stuff. And then that's where it comes from. So it's just like I said, like with the church hurt and all that stuff, it's like you be upset because somebody sat in your seat or somebody did this or somebody did that and all that stuff. And it's just like, yo, it's not about all that. Like if everybody was set on God and, you know, doing the things that he told us to do in the Bible and all that stuff,
how
if
do
your
you-
focus was that, then
Right.
you
But
feel
how
me?
do you do that coming from nothing? Like, you coming inside of a church and you don't know nothing. And you're off the street. How do you keep your focus on God? Yes, we want God, but you're looking at these people who, the pastors, the bishops, or the deacons, deaconesses, missionary, you know, all those people in those positions. You're looking at them for a template.
So
Yeah.
you
You
talk about
understand?
in spite of those people,
Right.
like how do you keep your focus?
But I think
No, that's
those
not what I'm saying. I'm sorry, Sam. I'm saying, how do you not look at people? Because you're saying that their focus shouldn't be on people, it should be on God, which is very true. But how do you do that coming in as a first-time believer? I'm gonna look at you to see what you're
I
doing,
get what
because
you're
I'm
saying.
gonna I'm gonna
Yeah.
automatically
Yeah.
assume I don't know nothing. I'm gonna automatically
Yeah.
assume, okay, they've been here, they look like they've been, you know, doing this. And so I'm looking at you, and I'm gonna definitely from the pulpit, I'm gonna be
Yeah.
like, okay, this is the pastor.
That's the
So that is the issue, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying, how do you
That's
how do you
the issue.
correct that? Because you're coming in off the street as a non-believer or a first-time believer,
Right.
and you're saying don't look at the people,
yeah,
come
yeah.
to God. But I'm looking at you as some sort of a template
Exactly.
to help me and guide me in the right direction.
Sure. And I just want to say
Yeah.
something too, because I don't like that point. Not that you said it, but we hear people say that you need to focus on God. If you focus on God, you won't see people that's doing you wrong. A big part of coming to church is community.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
fellowship.
Right.
And fellowship and
Absolutely.
being with other like-minded people. So when I come, I accept Christ and I find a church home and I want to commune with people, I should be able to do that. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Freely
Yeah.
without,
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Rather than, because if you just say, yo, you need to focus on God, that kind of absolves us or takes away accountability as Christians to, you know, take people in. You know what
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
just I know people.
Well, no, that was my point.
Right.
No,
right.
right.
But we hear that people.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, okay. Oh, y'all too. Y'all got something to say? Y'all got to tap in because I know we real heavy over here.
Corner is heavy.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, nah.
No, they were talking about how, like, when you come in, you're a new Christian, and you're looking at these people. I think the biggest thing is that us as Christians, no matter where you are in the church, whatever your title is, accountability is everything for our actions. I think people just totally dismiss that. Like, they think they can just make everything so political. Like, it's the focus is just not caring for how you carry yourself in front of people who are trying to get to Christ too, but they need an example, and we are the example. Right. So it's important. I feel like people don't make that important anymore. That we need to be the example. We need to carry ourselves according so that the person coming in has a good example. Right. And then there was another point. You said, like, you know, someone who may be delivered from lying, and then they cast out the next liar that comes in. I cannot stand that.
Yeah.
Because that defeats the whole purpose of being a Christian.
Exactly.
You're supposed to, first of all, if you're the one that's delivered from that, then you can help this person get delivered. That's the whole point of it. You have to continue the cycle of getting of deliverance.
Right.
That's
testimony.
the testimony. That's what we're here to do.
Right.
And I never understood why people would do that. And that's why there is so much church hurt out here. That's why there is so much confusion and chaos. Right. And people are saying, what is even the point of going to church? And it's so disheartening because there's so many people that really need guidance, and it takes us. Right.
And to piggyback off what you're saying, we should be the example. We should be able to be the example.
It shouldn't even be a question.
Exactly. Yeah. Because that's what we are. We're a community, and we're serving the same God. We should be able to be that example. You know, even the pastors. No, we're not perfect. At all. And we can address that. No, I'm not perfect. I have my issues, just like everybody else have their issues, but we're working on these issues, and we're going to get to our walk closer, like how, you know, how Jesus is, you know, by practice. Right. You know, it's not, so I don't know, but that's my
So I have a question. So we're talking about church fatigue, right? So we're all church members, and then, like I said, like the post pretty much said, why did you stop going to church? So like while you're working in ministry, how do you think that you can keep that same fire or whatever and stay on track, you know, if you're not seeing like the fruits of your labor, like pretty much? How do you guys think you know keep doing, you know?
Me personally, it's a few things really fast. It's number one, just realizing what I'm doing it for, and that's for God, obviously. Second is him. You know, a lot of people, I even see like musicians talk about this, you know, on the internet a lot of times, is being used as a gift. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of times, and depending on whatever you do in ministry, whether you sing, whether you're a musician, whether you're a deacon, I think a lot of times people get complacent in those leadership positions or those being used positions, or if you're hired. It's a gift to be used. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could be, you know, I know everybody's somebody in Christ, but you could be a nobody. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
And it's okay.
But the fact that God chose you to do whatever that is, you know, I take that as a gift. You know what I'm saying? So in those times that I am discouraged, I remember that I didn't have to be chosen, so to speak, to do whatever it is. And it don't got to be nothing big, like I'm a pastor or something like that. Yeah. God used me to speak to someone on Facebook, or used me to speak to someone, you know, at my job or something like that, to encourage them and help them. Like Rissa was saying a few pods ago about every time someone's in her seat, she gets to encourage them. Like, God could not use you. You know what I'm saying? So that's that. And then the last thing is my mom always talks about how we forget as Christians that you're not always going to gain something in this world, but God is training you, and we have eternal value on the other side, and we don't know what that other side is. Just like we train our kids to be, you know, good adults that can handle themselves, so is God doing us for the other side. So those are just my three things that I focus on when I'm not getting what I want. So to
You,
speak.
the second thing you said was you touched on gifts. I've been trying to get this in, but y'all been
ahead.
ignoring me.
You got to jump in.
We've been hot.
Y'all just
Shout out to Crave with the lit, double lit.
I mean, because y'all been talking a lot.
My bad.
I tried to toss it to that side of the table.
No,
but
you did not.
You ain't catch it. You ain't
No,
catch
you
it.
did not. It's just nah. But no, to your point, I was reading, and when I was doing my studying and reading, and it said that some people are just unaware of their gifts, right? And you think that, and I'm speaking from a leader's perspective or about leaders, and really, you think just because okay, and maybe God put it on your pastor to say, hey, I would like you to do X, Y, and Z. But it's up to you to go in prayer,
Right.
you know what I mean, and really ask God, God, is this for me?
Right.
Because another thing I read, it said a lack of passion can affect your congregation.
Yeah.
As a leader.
Sure.
And I think it starts there because I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna look at the congregation and be like, she's doing that, he's doing that. But I'm gonna look at the leaders first.
Right.
I'm gonna look at the pulpit first, you know what I mean? And the people that is helping, lead the church. And if you showing me lack of passion
Right.
for what you're doing, why would I want to follow you? Or why would I want to be here in this, in your church?
Right.
And so I think really understanding your gift, going to God in prayer, asking him what's my purpose? What's my purpose in this church, God? What is my purpose in Christ? What am I here for? What am I supposed to be doing? You know what I'm saying? And really hone in on your gift and perfecting your gift. I feel like that will save a lot of lost souls and a lot of people that are church dropouts.
I do want to touch on something you said really fast about honing your gifts and use the example as the pastor asked you to do something. One thing I see from church people that dropped out is they don't understand, I don't want to say the hierarchy, but when you come into somewhere, right, if the pastor asks you to do something, he's the visionary for the house, right? It does take some sort of submission to the man of God or woman of God, whoever's the pastor, to trust them in the direction that they, you know what I'm saying, are asking you to do. There's things that my dad has asked you. I know there's things he asks everybody here to do that we might be like, yo, I don't really feel like doing that, but we trust that he sees the next thing for us. And I think a lot of times with our generation, we don't respect or trust the visionary of the house, and we think that we can do it on our own. So I think submission is another thing that people that drop out or get church fatigue have to understand, that you gotta wait your turn.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And yes, you may have a gift, but it has to be developed. And in the Bible, people had to chill in the cut for a long time until it was their time to do whatever that gift was. So I think that's another thing that people that drop out have to take into consideration, is that you might have to sit down for a little bit and wait for your turn, and then when it's your turn, it's lit.
I think that one is big because from experience, just like you said, seeing church people drop out, definitely. Oh, I wanted to do this. They not letting me in the pulpit. They not letting me do this, and I'm gonna just take my gift somewhere else. But it's is it really your gift?
Right. We don't know that.
Right.
Are you sure about that?
Right. Because
But back to our, we're gonna do a callback. A couple episodes ago, we were talking about people leaving churches and thinking that their time was, done or complete, or a lot of times that's the thing that they use to go into the next level. When yes, you have a gift, but that gift was for here.
Right.
And then you try to take that gift somewhere else because you wanted to do that gift right now.
And then flatline.
Well,
You know what I'm saying? So
but you know what I think
tell
too.
you.
Also, so there are some people we'll say singing, for instance. There are some people that do have the gift to sing, but the churches that they are at aren't letting them sing. You feel me? So I think it's a two-headed thing sometimes too. It's I think a lot of people sometimes that are in those positions to make those, choir director, minister of music and all that stuff, allowing other people that aren't the regulars to do some things in the church too. Because if I'm a singer, that's my gift, and I'm not allowed to sing in the church, that I'm at because something's already set in place and there's no room for anybody else to sing. Sometimes like I don't want to be the main singer, like the main leader, but like yo, have a rotation or something like that. I've seen some places where it's just like the same people, like you feel me?
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
do think that right there, if I'm a singer and I want to sing and I come to this church every single Sunday and I'm not allowed to use my gift, like am I at fault for wanting to use my gift that God gave me, but I got to go somewhere else if I got to use it? Do I got to be an usher?
Right.
Because, you feel me?
Yeah.
And you know that's your gift because,
So
you know
what do y'all
what I
say
mean?
to that? I'm not talking about the people who want to, because I've seen some people who are just a tenor, who's just like a choir tenor. Like, that's all you could do, but you feel like you, I don't know, like, I don't know.
You wanna lead.
You want to lead.
Praise
so you
is
go
what I do.
somewhere else. So you go to a church that
What?
got,
Praise is what I
that's,
do.
I don't want to say have bad singers, but you're the quote unquote best singer there. So now you get to lead praise and worship. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about, yo, like, I just want to, I sing.
But
You feel
then
me?
at that point, is it your gift or is just flesh? Because
No, but what if that is what if you can sing?
no, you can sing, but you have a problem with being in the background for a little bit.
Not that you have a
but what-
problem,
so-
but you aspire to.
So-
You inspire to sing.
So what I'm saying, like,
And
from
you-
my instance, like what if, okay, so what if I'm at a church I'm a singer, I'm at church for 2 years, I can actually sing. Like, let's say I've been using my gifts in the world.
Elsewhere.
Like, you
Yeah.
feel me? Like,
Yeah.
I've been, I don't know, singing.
Traveling up and down.
Traveling, singing,
just
and
singing.
doing all that stuff.
Yeah.
You feel me? And then now I get to church,
They
now I
don't-
can't sing. And I am a singer. Like, I can sing.
Like you go crazy.
Like, you feel me? Like, I'm him. Like,
Yeah.
you feel me?
Go
But
crazy.
Go ahead, you got
Sing a
it.
little song.
since y'all had, what you said?
Sing a little song.
No, but like, what do you say to that?
Yeah.
Like now,
At
since
that-
y'all don't got space, like, can I go somewhere else?
I
Like, you feel
mean,
me?
Yeah, I
But-
feel you.
Yeah.
so, no, I
I gotta sit down. Do I gotta
No,
be a
no, I
missionary?
just-
Because
I
I've
have
been
a-
there, like as a drummer.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
a drummer. Like,
yeah.
you drum.
Yeah, but we all did that. You sat down.
Yeah.
You waited until
Your
it was
turn.
You was young.
You waited because you
I-
were young.
Yeah, you don't get a chance. I could play the drums in a service prior since I was about 7 or 8. So, but you have to wait, and I waited.
That's the code.
You know what I'm
As a
saying?
musician,
How
you
long,
gotta
did
wait.
how long did you wait to be a drummer? How many years did you wait until you played?
I came out the womb playing the drums.
No, until you were.
Or your mom.
I was gonna say that.
Or you didn't have to sit behind the drummer.
Until my dad got his church.
How many years
2003.
was that?
I was
Just because you're using you.
2003. 11 years old.
Okay.
So-
how many years?
About 6 years.
So do you think you, at your big age right now, go to a church and
whoa.
sit down for 6 years?
You at your big age.
Right.
Like, let's say you do nothing else.
Right, we're talking about adults here.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying, Jimmy, go ahead, Jimmy. What's up?
Y'all not gonna hear it. This is how I look.
Grab a mic. Come in and get a mic.
Come here real quick.
Come on, you want my mic?
Give him a mic. Give him a mic. Say it. Give him a mic.
Give me my mic.
We could talk to our brother Jermaine back there. He's
Yeah, Jermaine, yeah.
Banger.
what you want to call him, but I don't want to say that word. It's not a little.
It's our producer back there.
Yeah.
This is how I look.
What's up? What's up? What you saying? What you saying?
I mean, even me at my age of whatever I am, yeah, that big age. Being a musician, I understand that you could be good, but there's always gonna be somebody better than you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for me, I'm always taking every opportunity to learn. It doesn't
Yeah.
really matter who it is, because there's some young guys that's around here that I'm still learning off of. I'm
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
on their chops.
That's a fact.
So even though there might be something in place, you
Yeah.
have to learn how to come down. Like even me coming to this church,
Yeah.
I primarily was playing organ.
Yeah.
Organist already, so I have to learn how to play behind
Yeah, yeah,
it. So
yeah.
I'm not. In the other churches, I was learning how to be the leader all the time. Now I can't be the leader.
Yeah.
I'm coming under. So that's where it's like, you have to learn how to wait your turn and learn how to follow. A lot of people don't realize that you have to follow before you can lead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a lot, even now, like this whole MD talk. Everybody want to be an MD, but they don't know how to follow.
Right,
They don't know how to submit to somebody else, or even just learning.
right,
Yeah.
And even if you are MD status, you might not be the MD status over that gig. You
right,
gotta learn how to
Yeah.
right. That's true. That's true.
So that's how I look at it like that. Even when it comes to ministry, even if I'm a musician, if there's a band, that might be my ministry, but God may be calling me to something different.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And a lot of people don't realize that. So they only stuck on that one
That
piece.
one,
But there might be another, avenue that God's trying to take you, but we're not going to realize it because we're stuck on that one.
Stuck
Right.
on that one, yeah.
That's true.
Makes
Valid.
sense.
I get that. I was just playing devil's advocate. Cause I do get it. So like I ain't him, but I sang, and then I stopped singing, and then now I feel like I'm doing way more for God now than I did when I was singing.
Yeah.
Like you feel me?
Yeah.
Like so, and I feel like, I mean, I'm not trying to like toot my own horn or whatever like that. But I feel like our ministry as a whole is moving forward. Now that I'm not going everywhere singing.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you feel me? So
Yeah.
I get that too. Anybody else want to touch the?
I'm still
approach
singing.
You don't want to. You feel me? Oh, okay.
I'm still in the
All right.
field.
So I think along the church fatigue thing that we were talking about, how you can pretty much finagle that or whatever. My whole thing was making sure, number one, that you stay focused on why you're doing what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
But then
for sure.
also surrounding yourself with like-minded people.
Right.
Yes.
That you have a support system. Because like I said, so like, all right, so now I'm within the media ministry, right? So I could be stressing myself out trying to push the things media-wise that I want to do by myself, and I could get so fatigued that the whole ministry,
Yeah.
lacks.
Yeah.
But I see, like, for instance, with us now, like, I got Muzz here with me. Oh, John, I'm sorry. Got John here with me and Chris and all that stuff. Jermaine, and it makes it way easier, and we can actually bounce ideas off of each other.
Right.
So you kind of keep the fun in it and all that
Right.
stuff.
Yeah.
Keeping like-minded people around you. I think that can help.
That's important.
Yeah,
Definitely.
that's very important.
Yeah.
Back to that community.
Yeah.
Right.
community.
Yeah, having
Right.
community is very important, and I think in those times when we feel like we don't have that community, God always shows you who you can trust. You always get that instinct or that discernment to know, like, you know what, I have this idea. Maybe they would agree
Right.
with me, and it always works. Time and time again throughout the Bible, God clearly doesn't want us to do things by ourselves. There's always some sense of community or somebody to do it with you.
Right.
So definitely having that community. I mean, that's essentially what God wants. He's going to give you that team
Right.
every time.
Right.
Even when you feel like you're still got to do it by yourself, He sends someone to you that you even expect to come and help you. People that are supporting you and seeing what you're doing from afar, like, hey, I seen that you've been working on this. I got some ideas for you. Maybe we could link up. Never even expected, but this person was sent right to you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Right. Yeah.
that's definitely a point.
So
Yeah.
I know, we talk about things like this often. I remember talking with Chris one time about like the fatigue and all that stuff, and he said, one thing that he was talking about, Chris right here, he said, when you're doing things for God, oftentimes it takes longer for you to get your blessing than people in the world who
Yeah.
have nothing
Seems
to.
that
Yeah,
way,
you feel me?
yeah.
So
Yeah.
how do you guys navigate that? Like seeing people who don't care nothing about God.
Oh my
Seems like
gosh.
it gets the promises that you feel like that you're supposed to be getting.
Yeah.
It's
How do you guys?
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's extremely hard.
Very.
And I ain't going to sit here and act like I got the answers because I don't. Because I'm still dealing with that. Like, I have an issue with, like, yo, God, they don't care nothing about you. But they is thriving. I'm over here struggling, figuring out. Big thing I know for me is that I am a tithe-paying woman and an offering-giving woman as well. So I'm like, yo, I'm doing the things. And I figure, like, you don't really want to expect God to just do something. Like, you doing it because this is what you want to do. But
you wanna do it for that. Yeah.
right. You don't want to do it for that. I mean, like I said, you don't want to expect him to, like, God, I'm doing this,
So I
need you
Yeah.
to do this.
Yeah,
Like, it's not a
okay, yeah.
wager. Like, it's like, God, I'm doing this because this is from
Yeah,
my heart.
exactly.
This is my peace. Like, But sometimes it get like that. And so I don't know. I don't have that answer.
Yeah.
I don't got it either.
I don't got that answer. It's
I'd be
hard.
mad.
So what were you thinking when you said? Because like I said, I was talking to you. You got anything to expound upon that?
No,
No.
because I be going through that right now.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
seriously.
I be going through that right now, and even with like my music, like just trying to shop around music and like just try to like because my biggest thing is networking.
Yeah.
I gotta start networking more and start talking to people because you can ask her. My thing was like I'll be making beats and stuff, and in my head, God, nigga, I'm fire. I
Yeah.
am fire.
Yeah.
But then and then somebody will be like, nigga, that, they be like, that's whatever.
Yeah.
And then like you be like, all right. But then you hear what they got, and what they got is like 10 times better than what you got. And then now you gotta just like, all right, shut up, sit down, all I could do is learn from what they have.
Yeah.
Just learn.
Yeah.
Whatever they got, learn. Like even with Jermaine, I be playing keys, but then I stopped playing keys at a time. Jermaine kept playing keys. We was in school playing keys. He still played. I stopped because I wanted to do other things. And you showed me something, and I cannot see that.
It's fun. It's fun.
Oh.
But so with that being said, you say like right now with you being a producer and you're shopping on your things, and it seems like you're not really getting that traction that you feel like you deserve.
It's
so how are you keeping the faith?
Man, look, I done been down bad for
But
this whole pandemic. All I can do is just shut up, mind my business, talk to God, and wait my turn.
That's
That's like literally, and I'm not saying that because like God was saying that. No, like I have to like literally sit there and like wait, and I'm just sitting there and I watch everybody, and there's sometimes that people would like do things, and I'll be like, dang, I was just doing the same exact thing you was doing, but then you'll be like, and then they'll go on and just be like, and just scurry through it. But you can't. When you get on it, it got to be World War III. When you get on it, that's just me. That's just how I am.
Does anybody like have because I know we want to use this as inspiration to some people too, looking that they might be going through something right now and trying to keep that faith. Does anybody have like pretty much like a testimony?
Well, I'll say for me for this, I'll use singing as an example. I've been singing for a very long time. I can't even tell you when I started. I feel like I came out the womb singing.
Probably.
Honestly. I used to go to a church where full of singers, and I mean, they were all good.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, I want to sing, but I never got the chance to do that.
Yeah.
And it kind of goes back to what John was saying about the whole drums thing. You got to wait your turn. And that's ultimately it. Like, I had to wait years, but who knew that by me waiting, I would get a chance to travel the world to sing. I done been in some places. I done been on tracks, and I don't even put my business out there like that. I'm not that type of person. I done been on BGVs with people and in the studio with people that nobody probably didn't even know. But that was me, waiting my turn to happen. So that's kind of like my testimony. Like, it may not always pick up when you want it to pick up, but it will eventually get there, and then it's like your mind to be blown. You're doing stuff that you never even thought that you would, have access to. So that's my little spiel.
And while you were waiting, and you said you were around a lot of great singers, I'm pretty sure if you started when you wanted to start, you probably wouldn't be as seasoned or as good as you. You probably wouldn't have been able to travel the world. You sat there like Jermaine was saying, and like John was saying, you got there to sit and learn from those people.
I really did. I learned a lot. I learned so much. So
one thing that I would say for inspiration, and I want to, my own personal thing is kind of what Jermaine said, is, you have to be open to maneuver and to pivot. I think in my personal life, I've had things that I've wanted to do, point blank.
Right.
This is what I want to do. And you kind of get into that thing where if it don't happen, you kind of blame God. And it's kind of hard to have that faith. But my thing is, if you trust God and you follow him and, back to the gifts, I don't want to say gifts, but back to the things that you can just do, right? I do think that being a musician is a gift from God. But I would have never in a million years thought that I'd be talking on a mic in front of anybody. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I never would have thought that I would find fulfillment in doing media or videography or photography. You know what I'm saying? So just following where God has taken me, you know what I'm saying, and just going with it. The things that I wanted to do, careers that I wanted to have, I kind of feel now I have more fulfillment in where God has taken me. So what I would say is, don't always be so bullheaded with your plans. You know what I'm saying? Because God may have something that's greater for you, and that you'll have more fulfillment and more peace in.
Yeah, like
you know
be open-minded.
Yeah.
And be receptive to change or pivot. You know, your plan, so to speak. Like,
and everything is training. Like,
that's
you know, you think about Moses, right, who was trained to be a shepherd, and you know, he was coming from a palace, right, and now he's a shepherd, which is the bottom of the barrel. But the principles that he learned with being a shepherd, he didn't know he was going to have to bring 600,000 people through the wilderness. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
So in those lessons, you know, everything is a stepping stone with God. So level 1 may not happen the way you saw it, but God is going to give you something from level 1 to take to level 2. And level 2 may not be what it is, but you're going to take something from level 1 and 2 and go to 3. So
it's all a
just
learning
being open-minded
process.
and really trusting God.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Yeah, anybody else?
Well, I have one test, and this actually inspires me to today whenever I feel overwhelmed or just tired. I remember when this was a few years back. I think me and Chris were only like maybe a year or two married, and I was, now anybody just knows I'm a hairdresser, right? And if you know the hair business, it's a process, right? It takes time, it takes passion, it takes faith, to stick with it. And I was at a place, I remember it was a late night, I worked all night, and I had to come in the next morning at 6 a.m., and I was just like, yo, after this week, I'm done. Like, I said I quit. I was finished. I didn't want to do hair anymore. I was tired of the process. I felt like I put so much blood, sweat, and tears into the business, and I wasn't nowhere near where I should be. And I feel like I'm just getting all this stuff just thrown at me constantly, but I'm diligent. I work hard. I believe, like, I'm doing all this stuff, and I'm just here. I was done. Like I said, I quit, and I meant it that day. I was planning to bring the boxes. I was planning to pack. I was planning to do it all. Wow. I was going to quit. I told Chris. I was on the phone. I think I texted. I said, I'm quitting today. Like, after this weekend, I'm done. Yeah. Not even 5 minutes later, after I made that up in my mind, I got a phone call from a good friend of mine. She said, Rissa, do you have an appointment for tomorrow? And I was going to say no, because I was just over it. I wanted to do my people and go home. And I said, I might have something to squeeze in what you need. And she's like, well, I have this artist coming in from out of town. And she needs somebody to do her hair when she comes in. And she has short hair. And you know you rock the short hair and the color.
Absolutely.
She's like, I only trust one person to do this head. And I said, okay. Now, at this point, again, it's the end of the night. When I'm at the end of the night, my mind ain't working at full capacity.
Right, you tired.
So when she said the name, I was not recollecting who she was talking about. So she said, I have LaShawn Pace coming in. And I was like, okay, well, I could take her around this time, whatever. I just said, she can come at this time. I should be ready for her. She said, okay, thank you so much. I get home to Chris. I tell her, I was like, yeah, I got this lady coming in from out of town named LaShawn Pace. Chris dropped everything he was doing. He said, who? You said LaShawn Pace, like the Pacers? I said, yeah, some lady. He's like, Riss, stop what you're doing. You're not thinking about what you're saying. That's LaShawn Pace. Yeah. That's an actual celebrity, like gospel celebrity. You're about to do her hair tomorrow. Yeah. And I said, wait. Yeah. wait. I had to stop because I had to think about what I just said before I got that call. Yeah. And I was just like, it's in that moment God had to remind me, I still got you. You got to trust this process, though. Right. I'm not gonna let you just quit like that either. So it's like in those moments, he made sure I stayed in that thing. And to this day, that I met that woman, and she was amazing. You know how you sometimes meet these celebrities and they're not what they seem. No, she's an amazing person. Miss LaShawn Pace, I miss you so much.
That's that pink joint that you did, right? The pink cut?
That was a custom color. She told me what she wanted. And she said, but just do you. And I remember when I was washing her hair, and
that's copywritten, so don't even think about that.
She said, Rissa, has anybody ever told you that your hands are blessed? And I said, ma'am, no, ma'am. And she said, I can feel it when you touch my hair. Your hands are blessed. And I will never forget that experience because I remember I wanted to quit that night. And then,
But it always seemed like in those moments.
It's in those moments. He said, nah, you're not quitting today because you have there's more for you.
I said I need to quit more often.
But I say all of that to say you have to.
Better do something.
I'm quitting right now. Exactly.
I'm quitting.
I say all that to say you
That's
have to
inspiring,
trust
though. Yeah.
the process. Trust the process because in that process is your growth. That waiting you're doing, all of those things is part of building you to your full potential.
Yeah.
Nothing that you're doing in that process is for nothing.
Right.
It feels like it.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Even when you see people and they flourishing, you have no idea what they actually did to get there. And you don't even know if they really serving God and they got there.
Yeah.
It can all be an illusion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because that's
no
what it's
idea.
meant to be.
Exactly. You have no idea what that journey entails.
Yeah.
You have no idea what actually took place to get them where they are.
Yeah.
So you have to almost like sip your water, mind your business, and
Right.
trust your process.
Exactly.
At the end of the day.
But it always.
It's hard though.
Yeah,
but
it's very hard.
It's worth it though.
Because that devil be working. He'll make that
He
grass
do.
seem greener over there.
Well, you gotta think
But
too.
that's his job.
That's his job, right.
He wants you to think this person got it all. You need what they doing.
Exactly.
That's not. You need what God's doing for you.
Let's get
That's inspiring.
Let's get one more. Let's let Sam get in there. Sister Sam get in there.
Oh no.
You
I
want to do
was
something?
making a joke to John.
Okay, all right.
I can.
You want to?
I don't have a testimony, but just like I guess a personal experience for me. Yeah, I don't know it. But my husband does. I wanted to leave. And at one point here, my church family that I love so much. And it was because I was in my head and I don't feel like at the time I was listening to God. It was just like more of what I wanted to do and what I wanted and what I expected. And I checked myself. It took me a little while because, I wanted to leave. Looking for other churches and everything. Like, I was committed to the process. And I checked myself, and I'm like, this is not of God. You know what I'm saying? This is what my husband is. This is what my husband wants to be. We are one. We need to be on one accord. Let me check myself real quick, right? And going to God and talking to God about the real reason why I'm here, not just because my husband is here, but why I am here.
Right.
And I feel like since then I have been utilizing the gifts that He gave me, to draw people in, to do this pod. You know what I'm saying? To build stronger relationships with you guys, with my friends, with my family. And I feel like just like when I removed myself. You know what I mean? And just put God in the equation. Like, God, I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to let you have it. And you do what you do. Right? I feel like for me, that made a difference in... I don't know if you guys can see the difference in me from, like, when I first got here to, like, now, like, I just want to do stuff. Like, you know, and I'm excited about it. And that's because I literally, like... All right, God, what you want me to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, use me because I'm ready to be used. And I feel like that's what's working for me right now.
That's good.
It's not really a testimony, but like...
No, it's still inspiring, though.
That is a testimony.
Yeah, it is.
That's a great testimony. Great testimony.
It really is.
So pretty much, I hope these testimonies, did something for people who are watching. If they ever wanted to, leave church, or even if they were in church and they were doing something, they were losing faith. I hope these, testimonies in our podcast did something for you guys. Just, keep the faith. Your blessing is coming.
That's right.
It may not come when you want them,
but it's always
on time.
Always right on time. Yep, and that's just about it.
That's just about it.
In the pod,
Right.
See you guys next week.